Welcome to my very important part 2 of the collusion regarding adrenochrome fraud, directed energy weapon systems and the vaccines. In the last part 1, you would have seen that somebody claiming to be Reynard Wilson came on to my live stream along with somebody from my company who was there, and there was a tag team to try and undermine my evidence, and it only appeared to show that there was a collusion between my company, Sonia Poulton, and with this person claiming to be Reynard Wilson. So we're going to talk about Reynard Wilson a little bit more now, and you'll see how important this becomes. So this is a screenshot taken from one of his videos. I've already mentioned it in one of my other videos. We're going to bring it up again. And it depicts me in a police uniform, surrounded by guns pointing at my head. And it says, "Mind of Steel" at the top. Okay, and everyone hates Gary Waterman. Now, bearing in mind, we know that my company, or people within my company, have been colluding with this person, okay? And my company have connections to the police, to the NHS, to, very quickly through Companies House, to politicians, to the monarchy. There is no greater depiction of a criminal organised network that is our government and their organisations than this image here. Somebody who used to work incredibly hard for them in their organisation to help the people, stopping them being victimised. And here we are. This depicts what this is really all about, doesn't it? Here, okay? And it's very important because Mind of Steel relates to Reynard Wilson trying to undermine the evidence being presented by Mark Steele, who was trying to say that the 5G is a directed energy weapon system. But we'll come to Mark and that a little bit later. Let's have a look at some clips taken from Reynard, or whatever his name is. You'll see why I say that in a minute. His videos.
The sort of person that any of us, under any circumstances, should seek to associate with. Well, another Gary episode over. And I can assure you it won't be the last, because he is trying desperately to appeal to the truth community and be on every single platform that he can possibly be on. But I do sense that his demise may come soon, because he is starting to annoy some of the more important people in his own community. That can't work out well for him. So I'm sure we shall all enjoy the schadenfreude of watching Gary Waterman eventually and inevitably melt down. And when that happens, Mind of Steel will be here to report upon it. And until that time comes, or until next week, I shall see you.
Now notice how he speaks a phrase of German at the end there. This ties in with significant evidence suggesting there's a German infiltration or involvement in the start of all of this, right back before World War I. German companies seems to set up educational establishments right around the world. Also took over mainstream media around the world, it appears from the research. Go and look at my World Trade Center disaster document and evidence for that, because that also links into Robert Maxwell. So now we've got a German phrase. It may or may not be relevant, but I thought I'd mention it. But also notice he says my demise. Now I suggest that this was a threat to me. And they may well try and silence me. I do suspect that's already been attempted. Various people, as I've said, have been trying to get me to meet them in person and become quite insistent about it, actually, including one of Andrew Bridgen's associates, which I haven't publicised before, and Mark Sexton. They've been extremely insistent. So has somebody from the Rapid Response Group, almost to the point where it was obvious that they were going to do something sinister in relation to this. They're forgetting I've got the faith behind me, I've got my moral integrity, I've got my moral conscience, and I can't be stopped through the normal conventional methods, because this is way more important than anything else to me. It's way more valuable is to do the right thing. And it's a shame these other people aren't thinking like that, because that's where it's gone wrong. But let's have a look at another clip of Reynard.
Because she might be part of this vast cosmic conspiracy that he believes he's discovered.
He's claiming that there is a fraud at Companies House that brings in all manner of people, including myself, including, I think, Russell Brand, Andrew Bridge, and all manner of people who've actually been speaking out.
And Sonia does seem to have a point here, because Stuart, the police officer, actually asked Gary some quite pointed questions.
Show me the statute and the law that says that it has to. But you know that all of those registers aren't fully up to date because the man hours and the money that it takes to upload it.
The question has to be, why is all of this effort taking place to undermine my evidence? If there is nothing there, there is no fraud, there's no child trafficking, there's no directed energy weapons concerns, there's no adrenochrome. Why so much effort to undermine my evidence? I think we're going to find out now. So this, I've been led to believe, is Reynard Wilson. That was until someone sent me this information. And you can see the date of this image. This is a screenshot from the website, and it was on the 2nd of July, so it's now the 9th, so 7 days ago. And that is Reynard Wilson. But if you look below, it's actually Colin Sudamen. So we now have an alias name. And let's look at the rest of the LinkedIn page in relation to Colin Sudamen. And this is a screenshot taken from the LinkedIn page, and it says Colin Sudamen, lead community manager for 6G development, Ericsson company, and it also says Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. Now this is a bombshell, because this now creates the question, the huge question, as to why they are using somebody with an alias name to try and undermine Mark Steele's evidence, when they could have sent an expert to undermine the evidence of the 5G. They could have sent the real name, the real person, to try and undermine the evidence that the 5G systems and the technological system that is in place, is in place, is not a weapon. They could have said that it's not a weapon, and here's why. I'm an expert. Here you go. They didn't do that. They used somebody with a false identity. We'll find out why that is in a minute. And this is showing the experience of Colin Sudamen, aka Wilson. And it says he's community liaison at Ericsson from February 2024 until present. So very recently. London area. And it says a new role to help this important telecommunications company usher in the next generation of hybrid systems. If you look further down, it says that he was a disinformation propagation, I've never heard that word, officer for the British Army from 2019 until July 2024. Well, that's now. So he's just resigned from the British Army, probably since that live stream, saying he has resigned to remove the accountability and liability and try and hide this. So you can see this, how important this is. It also states that he is a legal practice manager, Jobs and Partners from 2015 to 2019. It said he ran the marketing and communications for a legal office which primarily represented major pharmaceutical and agri-business companies such as Pfizer, Monsanto and Moderna. Hopefully you realise how bombshell this is, because we now have a connection to the vaccines, to the directed energy weapons, to my company, with them trying to undermine the 5G through this person using a false name so that the connection is not made. But it gets even more interesting. And remember, there's fraud all the way through this. Moderna and Pfizer linked to fraudulent entity companies. But there's even more bombshell evidence, and we'll come to that a little bit later. So these are some articles by Sudamen on the LinkedIn, and I'll just read some of these. These are screenshots taken from it. As we stand on the brink of a revolutionary leap in military communications technology, I'm honoured to introduce the latest milestone achieved by our defence technology partners, the Ericsson 6G communication system. We'll look at Ericsson's later. This advanced systems heralds a new era in tactical operations and strategic deployments, offering unprecedented capabilities that will redefine modern warfare. The Ericsson 6G system is engineered with precision and foresight, designed to meet the intricate demands of contemporary and future battlegrounds. One of the system's standout features is its ability to generate tightly focused beams of radio energy. Now remember, we've been talking about there being a weaponized system within 5G, a directed energy weapon system in beam technology. The technology advancement is not merely a step forward, it is a leap forward towards greater efficiency and precision in military communication. Enhanced precision in communication with the Ericsson 6G system, we are now equipped to direct communication beams with pinpoint accuracy, ensuring that our messages reach only intended recipients. I won't read all of it, but it goes on to I'll read some of it. This capability significantly reduces the risk of interception and eavesdropping, safeguarding our operational secrecy against universal threats in the shadowy realm of the tactical engagements, where silence and stealth are as potent as firepower. The system ensures our communications are invisible cloaks, shielding our moves from prying eyes. Another screenshot. Beyond secure communications, the Ericsson 6G system introduced an extraordinary enhancement in tracking capabilities. The precision of its radio beams enabled us to monitor the movement of both assets and personnel with an accuracy previously deemed unattainable, whether it is overseeing the deployment of ground troops in defence terrains or coordinated serial units in clustered airspaces. This system provides a clarity that will dominate the fog of war. Now, if you go and look at my Rishi Sunak document, you will see that directed energy weapons that are linked to the 5G, okay, via the companies that are supposedly putting in this technology, are actually all collaborating on the same directed energy weapon company, including MI6 and intelligence agencies linked to Russia, okay, at a time when we're led to believe we're at risk of conflict with Russia. Go and look at the Rishi Sunak document and videos to see all of this. It's very important. Bringing on the strategic implications of deploying the Ericsson 6G system are profound. By enhancing our communication and tracking precision, we can execute operations with a level of coordination and efficiency that will outspace and outmaneuver our adversaries. There is no adversaries. They're working in collaboration. The system's robustness is signal strength, and resistance to traditional jamming efforts means that our operational integrity remains intact even under the most adverse conditions. He then goes on to talk about Bluetooth technology. Utilization of Bluetooth low energy signals for target acquisition in urban environments, the nano-meta antenna approach. Recent advancements in nanotechnology have facilitated the development of nano-meta antennas, minuscule devices capable of being embedded within living organisms. This paper examines the theoretical framework and practical application of using Bluetooth low energy signals emitted by these nano-meta antennas for target acquisition in densely populated urban environments. Okay, densely populated urban environments. So that could mean in a city in the UK, okay, to remove people. But it could also be used against the masses. This could be by integrating standard Bluetooth hardware with military drones. This approach proposes a novel method for real-time tracking and identification of specific individuals who have administered these nano-injectables. Nano-meta antennas, once injected into the target subjects, begin emitting a unique BLE signal detectable by conventional Bluetooth receivers. These signals are characterized by their low energy consumption, making them ideal for long-term surveillance without necessitating frequent recharges or replacement. Technology development. Military drones equipped with advanced BLE receivers patrol urban areas to detect these signals. The BLE technology enabled these drones to distinguish between multiple signals with precision, thus ensuring accurate target identification. The paper explores the ethical, legal and privacy implications of deploying such technology, considering the invasive nature of injecting individuals with nano-meta antennas. The technical feasibility of scaling this technology for widespread urban surveillance, okay, is also examined alongside potential countermeasures and signal jamming technique. Another section says, I'd like to talk to you about a topic of utmost importance to our ongoing mission here at the 77th Brigade. So he's part of the 77th Brigade. The recruitment of talented individuals capable of confronting domestic challenges. Specifically, we face the unique mission of undermining groups that perpetuate conspiracy theories, which pose significant risks to British business interests at home and abroad. So you can now see what this appears to be used for. Okay, so anybody that stands up against child trafficking, child abuse, or what we're going to be looking at, I mean, you're looking at this thinking, surely this doesn't get any more relevant. It gets very relevant in a minute. And of course, this gives them the ability to target and remove individuals who oppose a criminal government. Okay. Given the secretive nature of our work, public perception often veers towards misconceptions. This complicates recruitment efforts as the stigma attached to psychological operations may deter potential candidates. We need individuals who can excel at their tasks and navigate the ethical dimensions with unwavering integrity. In summary, as we continue to refine our approach to recruitment, our objective remains unchanged: to protect British interests by neutralising internal threats in the most effective, ethical and efficient manner possible. Just above that it says, to overcome these challenges, the 77th Brigade is committed to innovative recruitment strategies which include partnerships with academia, private sector engagement. So we're talking corrupt. We know organisations are corrupt through the system of fraud, and even talented scouting within online communities where relevant skills may be identified. Now he goes on to try and make it sound, there's various bits that make it sound as though it's a good thing, talking about assisting with peace negotiations and protecting the interests of the land. I suspect, I mean, when we see this evidence in a minute, which is bombshell, that may be there to hide what it's really there for. It's very clear that governments around the world are collaborating over all of this, and I suspect this is again a potential element of misinformation on Wikipedia, when actually there's a very sinister means behind this to take out anybody that opposes, I believe, the fraud, as an example, defrauding the general public through this system, but also the ability of depopulation and adrenochrome and child abuse and trafficking that we will come to very soon. Now on the bottom of Colin Sudamen's experience section, it mentions Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, and then there's Eric Benson, who puts a comment just basically praising him, and we'll come to Eric Benson now. And here's a picture of supposedly Eric Benson on Colin Sudamen's page, and here's Eric Benson's LinkedIn page. It says he's a software developer at Barracuda, Canadian Forces School of Military Intelligence. Says, as a former counterintelligence analyst with the Canadian Security Intelligence Services, I bring a wealth of experience in intelligence analysis, security operations and risk assessment. During my time at CSIS, I had the privilege of contributing to the safeguarding of Canada's national security, so they're trying to make it sound like a good thing, interest by analysing intelligence data and countering potential threats from foreign actors. Part of his work, currently working in Minnesota as a software developer, I've expanded my skill to include online investigation, particularly focused on monitoring and assessing dissident activities on various social media platforms. My mission remains rooted in my unwavering commitment to protecting our nation and ensuring the safety and security of our citizens. And here is his experience: software developer, Barracuda, counterintelligence, Canadian CSIS until present day. Got that there. And he also was part, according to this, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Now this is where we get to the very critical information. Now hopefully you remember, those of you who've seen my Adrenochrome videos, there was a document found. This is that document that somebody sent me. It's from obviously somebody else. I didn't write the document, of course, and I wasn't the original recipient, but it's a German letter. Okay, and I'm not going to go over this again because I've already featured it in my other videos, and go and look at that. But there's a table of names appearing to be children aged between 6 and 12, blood types. It mentions whether they've committed suicide or not. It goes and talks about their detention centres, and it talks about adrenochrome. And right down towards the bottom, it's got various detention centres: Canada, Costa Rica, Mexico, United States mentioned. And we have a company called CYM. And you'll see on my other video that CYM, research through Companies House, links to CYM Limited, which links to my company, okay? It eventually links to my company. It links to royal connections, monarchy, politicians, crime all the way through, fraud all the way through, military. Okay, so this is just to show you that document. And it was dated in July 2020. Looking at a screenshot here of somebody who very kindly sent me that initial information. This is just showing the correspondence. I've obviously taken their details out to protect them. Thank you so much. I don't think this person realised how incredibly important this information is. And then they sent me further information. And this is the information they sent me. And it appears to show a Companies House record of another CYM limited company that I hadn't picked up on. But look at the names on it under the people section. Colin, Reynard, Sudamen. And Eric Michael Benson. One of an address in Worthing, West Sussex, where Richard Vobes is. And another one of 2, Churchill Place in London. Churchill Place is often used throughout the fraud. So, of course, I wanted to verify this information and corroborate it. So I took the company number, 14944-784. 14944-784. So I put that company number into the Companies House registration system, like this, and it brought up a completely different company. So, of course, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this person who I don't know has sent me this information, and they've made this information up. I had to consider that it had been made up, okay, that it wasn't actually real. And this is showing the correspondence between myself and that person. So obviously I was pretty overwhelmed with that, what they'd sent me, and I please can you send me the link to this or explain how you found it, the company number, and nothing else else I try it appears to bring it up. I just looked again, so this was I sent that at 1953, so just over an hour later they said, I've just looked again, it's all changed, I don't understand, this is crazy. But could they tell I was looking at it, and then they decided to disguise the record? And I put a emoji. How did you find it before? They put, I just searched. Can you really delete stuff? Is that legal? And I put, how did you find it before again? And they said, I just searched. Can they really just delete stuff? Is that legal? How did you search? What did you type? And where, please? And they put, I was searching for Sudamen. It's a very distinctive name. And I put on Companies House, and they said yes. Now, of course, at this point, I'm trying to work out exactly what's gone on here. So I find this all very, very interesting. Now, there's one of two things. Either this person that's sending me this has made up this information, or they've removed the record from Companies House. And they might have realised somehow that he had looked at it, which might have flagged up, and then they removed that record and changed it to another company. And then I had some other incredible information come into me, and I've redacted this. I've put this screenshots into a document here just so I can redact and protect the individual. I've redacted the times of the messages and also a name that was mentioned. But this was the messages, correspondence. But this is weird. Here's what you saw on Eric Benson's LinkedIn. So he's got my screenshots that I'd sent. And then he said, well, they said, he said. And then this is what they said, and this is what I see. Can you see the difference? It's like somebody is trying to cover something up and doing a very bad job of it. And it appears to be a screen grab of LinkedIn to show you and to confirm that I could not get into my LinkedIn, no matter how many times I did this capture verification. I've never had this in my entire life. And just to show you the video. So this is me trying to get into my LinkedIn. And that's correct. It's asking again. So I did this earlier and it just continuously goes on. I've never had this before. Normally, as most of you will know, maybe you have to do it 3 times. This is just to show you that they've stopped me from being able to access. This is Colin Sudamen's LinkedIn I'm trying to get onto. And it was fine the other day, okay? Because obviously, as you know, I took screenshots from it. But very fortunately, somebody else has managed to now acquire the screenshots for me and sent me the links. So that means we've got the evidence, but I just want to show you here that I've been blocked out. Okay, so you can see every time I try and do it, that they're deliberately trying to hide me obtaining the evidence, but it's too late. It's done. So I then obviously couldn't access my LinkedIn. So that was deliberate. And you can see what else they've now done to my phone, which I've just noticed recently. Can you see where I touched the screen? You have that circle. That was never there before. I've never set that. So they are trying to gain access to my phone by passwords that I'm putting in. You can see that? See that little circle? That was never there before. I'll see if I can get that off in a minute. But just before I do, let me show you this. So you can see how much effort they're going to. Now this will be the intelligence agencies doing this, which work for above our governments, and you can see how worried they are about this, the efforts they are going to. But this is correspondence that I sent to somebody else now, so I couldn't gain access to my LinkedIn. So I asked basically, is someone up? They then messaged me the next day, and they then accessed the information and confirmed it. Not only that, they sent me the links. So we've now got the links, the screenshots, all of the evidence. And let's have a look at some screenshots of that evidence. Now, this is just to show you the correspondence. Just it all helps to support what I'm saying, doesn't it? And you can see all of it. CYM Limited, where they did a search on company's house as well. So these are the screenshots. This is the information coming from someone else now, and I've got the links. And here is the LinkedIn page for Colin Sudamen. And if you go to, the next page or lower down, here it is on his experience, which was not there when I looked, but it is there now from somebody else. So somebody else looking, Director of Compliance, CYM Limited, self-employed, April 2020, Sussex, England. I lead a division that aims to extract the purest biocompatible nanolipids from our state-of-the-art extraction facility. If we go into Benson's, you can see immediately now on his homepage, CYM Limited. And if you go into his experience, you can see CYM Limited, present, 2020 until present. Remember, the document is April 2020. And here at CYM Limited, I specialise in integrating our advanced chemical solutions with cutting-edge electrical engineering products. My role involves leveraging my expertise in both chemistry and electrical engineering. Now, this means that Adrenochrome is linked to my company and directed energy weapons and telecommunications extremely quickly. They are lying, they are being deceitful, they're trying to hide it, but it appears as though it's now been made. So everything that I am suggesting appears to be real. I mean, this is probably the best evidence that I've got. So there it is, guys. I'm going to end this video because you can see on the right hand side there, it looks as though they've hacked my phone. See that little dot? And I've just spoken to somebody before I did this last video, or last section of this video. And when you go into the developer options, according to research, you should be able to turn the taps off on the screen. I just want to show you this because it probably means I'm going to have to stop doing anything else until this is resolved. Because they're clearly, what this will be is probably trying to track and find what I'm tapping on my phone. Where is it? So here is the section on developer. You can see it's off. Now it's on, still tapping. It's off, and you can still see the mark where I'm pressing. I think they're trying to find my location because I've got a VPN. They can't do it normally, so they're trying to find it by wherever I'm tapping on the screen and trying to access my passwords for everything. I've got to assume that's what they're doing, because that was... it's been there for a few days, but I hadn't thought anything about it until I was doing the... trying to get into my LinkedIn and showing you that, and now I can't even get rid of this. See, and I've tried this several times off. So I'm going to leave it there. God bless you all. If you don't hear from me again, then they've found me via this, whatever they're trying to do on my phone. God bless. Bye.